People talk all day about what women want from men. But let me flip that for a second, because men, real men, don't just look at beauty, status, or what's on the outside. What draws them in, what makes them stay, is attitude. It's the way a woman carries herself, the way she speaks, the way she responds when life gets hard. These aren't small things, they're everything. And if you've ever wondered what makes a man truly love, respect, and cherish a woman, then listen closely. Because today, I'm going to share the 5 attitudes men love most about women. Confidence without arrogance is one of the most powerful attitudes a woman can carry, and it's something men notice instantly, even if they don't put it into words. It's not about walking into a room and demanding attention. It's about walking into a room and already knowing you don't need anyone's approval to feel complete. There's a difference between confidence and arrogance, and that difference is humility. Arrogance tries to prove, while confidence simply knows. Arrogance pushes people away, but confidence draws them closer because it carries quiet assurance rather than loud performance. Men love this because it shows that a woman has already built herself up from the inside, and she doesn't need someone else to do it for her. Confidence is magnetic. It communicates, without even speaking, that you value yourself, your time, and your energy. Think about it. When a woman knows her worth, she sets the tone for how others treat her. She doesn't chase after validation. She doesn't beg for attention. She doesn't cling to relationships that diminish her. And men, real men, are deeply attracted to that. They don't want a woman who sacrifices her peace just to keep someone around. They want a woman who understands that walking away from what doesn't serve her is a sign of strength, not weakness. A confident woman doesn't need to be the loudest in the room, and she doesn't have to dress a certain way or talk a certain way to prove herself. Confidence is subtle but unshakable. It's in the way she makes decisions without second guessing whether people will like her choice. It's in the way she can sit in silence without feeling the need to fill it just to be accepted. It's in the way she carries herself after failure, refusing to let it define her. That kind of energy doesn't scream for attention. It commands respect. And here's the thing, men don't just admire this kind of confidence. They respect it. Respect is bigger than attraction. Attraction can fade, but respect keeps a man grounded in commitment. When a man respects a woman's confidence, he knows he can't play games with her because she won't tolerate it. He knows he can't give her half-hearted effort because she'll see through it. He knows that her love is a choice, not a need, and that makes her presence even more valuable. Confidence also changes the way a woman shows up in love. She doesn't compete with other women because she knows who she is. She doesn't measure her worth by whether a man calls or texts because her value is never tied to his attention in the first place. She doesn't let insecurities dictate her actions because she trusts herself enough to know she can handle whatever life brings her way. That stability is refreshing for men. It brings peace, not chaos. It brings security, not confusion. Now let's be real. Confidence doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean a woman never feels doubt, never questions herself, or never makes mistakes. True confidence is knowing you're not flawless, but still showing up fully as yourself. It's about owning your imperfections without letting them define you. Men love that because it shows authenticity. Nobody wants someone who's pretending. They want someone who can stand tall in their truth, even when it's messy, even when it's not polished. And here's the beauty of it: when a woman carries this kind of confidence, she doesn't just inspire men. She inspires everyone around her. She sets the standard higher without even trying. Her presence says, "I know my value, and I refuse to settle for less." And men love that because it challenges them to rise too. It calls them to meet her at her level, not drag her down to theirs. At the end of the day, confidence without arrogance is not just an attitude, it's a lifestyle. It's a woman saying, "I don't need you to complete me, but if you want to walk with me, you better come correct." And that, right there, is why men love it so much. Kindness is one of those attitudes that never goes out of style, and it's one men deeply love in a woman when it's real. Not the kind that's just for show, not the kind that flips on when people are watching and switches off when no one's around. I'm talking about kindness that flows naturally, the kind that shows up in the way she speaks to people, in the way she listens, in the way she treats even those who have nothing to offer her. That kind of kindness is rare, and because it's rare, it's powerful. Men notice it in the little things first. It could be the way a woman treats a waiter, or how she talks about people who aren't in the room. It could be the patience she shows when things don't go her way, or the way she lifts someone up instead of tearing them down. Those little moments tell a story about her character, and character is what men admire more than anything. Beauty can get attention, but kindness keeps it. It doesn't just capture a man's eyes, it captures his heart. The truth is, kindness requires strength. It's easy to be kind when everything is going your way, but it's another thing entirely to show kindness when you're under pressure, when you're tired, or when someone rubs you the wrong way. That's when the real depth of kindness comes out. Men see that, and they love it because it speaks to stability. It shows that her love isn't shallow, that her patience isn't just for the good days, but it's steady enough to weather the bad days too. And don't get it twisted. Kindness doesn't mean weakness. It doesn't mean letting people walk all over you. A truly kind woman can still set boundaries, can still say no, can still protect her peace. In fact, real kindness often shows up with firm strength because it's not about pleasing everyone. It's about showing compassion without losing yourself. That balance is what men respect. They don't admire a woman who's just agreeable to everything. They admire a woman who can show love while standing her ground. Another thing about kindness is how contagious it is. A man who spends time around a kind woman begins to feel more at ease, more grounded, more seen. Her presence softens his rough edges, not because she changes him, but because she inspires him to be better. Her kindness reminds him that gentleness and love are not weaknesses, but strengths. And every man, no matter how tough or hardened, craves that kind of safe space. When kindness is genuine, it carries no agenda. It doesn't say, "I'll be good to you if you do this for me." It simply flows because that's who she is. And when a man realizes that, it earns his trust. He doesn't question whether she's putting on an act or trying to manipulate. He sees her kindness in the quiet moments, in the consistency, in the way she shows up even when there's nothing to gain. That's when he knows it's real. Kindness also deepens intimacy. Because it's not just about what she does for him, it's about the atmosphere she creates. A kind woman creates a home in her presence, a place where a man feels understood, valued, and cared for. It's not about grand gestures, it's about the tone in her voice, the patience in her responses, the way she chooses understanding over harshness. Those little choices of kindness build a foundation that makes love last. At the end of the day, men don't just love kindness because it feels good. They love it because it reveals who a woman really is at her core. It shows her depth, her compassion, her ability to bring light even in dark spaces. And that kind of heart is unforgettable. Playfulness is one of the most underrated attitudes that men absolutely love in a woman because it brings life into a relationship in ways nothing else can. Life already has enough heaviness, enough responsibilities, enough weight pressing down on people every single day. A man doesn't want to come home and feel like the weight doubled when he walks through the door. What he craves is someone who can laugh with him, someone who can tease him, someone who reminds him not to take life too seriously all the time. That lighthearted energy isn't childish. It's powerful. It makes him feel alive again. Playfulness shows up in the simplest ways. It could be the way she cracks a joke at just the right time, or the way she laughs at herself when she makes a mistake instead of getting defensive. It's in the way she can turn an ordinary day into a memory just by being spontaneous. That kind of presence makes a man look forward to being around her because she feels like a break from the heaviness of the world. It's not about being silly all the time. It's about carrying a spirit that doesn't let stress or bitterness steal the joy out of every moment. Men love this because playfulness feels like freedom. It gives them permission to drop their guard, to stop performing, to stop being the strong one all the time. When a woman can laugh with a man, tease him, challenge him in a fun way, it creates a bond that's deeper than romance. It's friendship. And friendship is what keeps love alive long after the excitement fades. Attraction might spark interest, but playfulness keeps the fire going because it makes the connection enjoyable day after day. And here's the thing. Playfulness doesn't mean immaturity. It doesn't mean avoiding serious conversations or living without direction. It means bringing balance. It means knowing when to lighten the load, when to take a breath, when to bring a smile into a moment that could have been tense. That balance is magnetic because it shows emotional intelligence. It tells a man that she knows how to handle life's ups and downs without drowning in negativity. Think about it, some of the best memories people carry in relationships aren't the big, serious milestones. They're the little moments where they laughed until their stomach hurt, where they had inside jokes no one else understood, where something small turned into something unforgettable just because they didn't take it too seriously. That's what playfulness creates. It builds a private world between two people that no one else can enter. And men notice that more than they admit. They notice when a woman can find joy even when plans fall apart. They notice when she can laugh with them instead of criticizing every flaw. They notice when she can join in on the joke instead of being offended by everything. That energy is refreshing. It doesn't just attract him. It makes him stay because he doesn't just feel loved, he feels alive with her. Playfulness also shows trust. It takes a certain level of comfort to be goofy, to joke, to let your guard down without fear of being judged. When a woman can do that, it signals to a man that she feels safe with him, and in return, it makes him feel safe with her. That mutual openness builds intimacy in a way seriousness alone never could. At the end of the day, men don't just want someone who stands by them in hard times, they also want someone who will laugh with them in the good times. Playfulness is what keeps love light, keeps it fun, keeps it fresh, and that's why men love it so much. Strength in tough moments is one of the attitudes that men admire most because it reveals something deeper than beauty, charm, or even personality. Life isn't a smooth road. It comes with unexpected turns, disappointments, setbacks, and storms that no one sees coming. And when those storms hit, what truly stands out in a woman is how she responds. Men love a woman who doesn't crumble at the first sign of struggle, but instead finds a way to stand tall, even when everything around her feels shaky. That kind of strength doesn't just inspire a man, it earns his lasting respect. Strength doesn't mean pretending nothing hurts. It doesn't mean putting on a fake smile and acting like everything is fine. Real strength is the ability to acknowledge pain, to feel it, and still move forward anyway. It's choosing not to let bitterness take over. It's saying, yes, this is hard, but it will not define me. That quiet resilience is magnetic because it shows depth of character. Men notice when a woman can face life's difficulties with grace instead of constant breakdowns, and they admire it because it shows stability. When a woman is strong in tough moments, it doesn't only help her, it creates a kind of partnership that men value deeply, because life will test both of them. There will be financial struggles, health scares, family issues, and days where everything seems to fall apart. A woman who can hold herself together in those moments becomes more than just a companion. She becomes an anchor. Men love that because it tells them they're not carrying the weight alone. It tells them that no matter what comes, she can be counted on to stand, not collapse. But strength is not about hardness. It's not about shutting down emotions or becoming distant. True strength is balanced with vulnerability. It's the ability to cry when it hurts, but not live forever in those tears. It's the ability to acknowledge disappointment, but still choose hope. Men love that because it feels real. They don't need a woman who never shows emotion. They need one who shows emotion, but doesn't get swallowed by it. That balance is what gives her strength, weight, and meaning. Another reason men love this attitude is because strength inspires growth. A strong woman challenges a man to rise higher, to handle his own struggles better, to face life with more courage. Her resilience becomes a standard, and he feels driven to match it. And it's not about competition, it's about admiration. A man respects a woman who doesn't fold under pressure because it makes him want to fight harder for her, stand stronger beside her, and build a future with her that can withstand anything. Strength also shows a man that her love isn't fragile. It tells him she won't abandon ship the moment things get hard. She has staying power. She has commitment. She has the ability to bend without breaking, and that's rare. Relationships require that kind of endurance, because the reality is, love isn't just about the good days. It's about surviving the storms together and coming out stronger on the other side. At the end of the day, men love beauty, they love kindness, they love fun, but strength in tough moments is what gives all of that staying power. It's what makes him believe in her, trust in her, and want to build a life with her. And that's why strength is one of the greatest attitudes a woman can carry. Grace in communication is one of those attitudes that can completely change the way a man sees a woman, because words carry power. The way someone speaks can either build bridges or burn them down. Men love a woman who knows how to express herself with strength, but without venom. Someone who can speak her truth without using her words as weapons. That balance of honesty and respect is rare, and when a man finds it, he holds on to it. It's easy in the heat of frustration to lash out, to let emotions take over and say things that cut deep. But grace in communication isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about channeling them in a way that brings clarity, not chaos. A woman who has this attitude doesn't avoid tough conversations, but she also doesn't let them spiral into unnecessary drama. She knows that yelling louder doesn't mean being heard better, and silence doesn't mean resolution. She chooses words carefully, not to win an argument, but to solve a problem. Men love this because it makes them feel safe, not attacked. Grace doesn't mean softness all the time, it means wisdom. It's knowing how to pick the right time, the right tone, and the right approach. A woman with grace in communication can tell a man what she will and won't accept without tearing him down. She can point out mistakes without belittling. She can express her needs clearly without making him feel like he's constantly failing. That level of communication builds trust because a man knows where he stands with her. There's no guessing, no mind games, no manipulation, just honesty delivered with respect. Men admire this because it shows emotional maturity. Anyone can argue, anyone can criticize, anyone can complain, but not everyone can communicate in a way that keeps love intact while still addressing the truth. A woman who communicates with grace turns potential conflict into connection. She doesn't make disagreements feel like wars. She makes them opportunities for understanding. That doesn't mean every conversation is easy, but it does mean every conversation has purpose. This attitude also makes a man want to open up more. Men aren't naturally as expressive with their feelings, and many shut down if they feel judged or attacked. But when a woman speaks with grace, it creates space for him to be honest too. He feels like he can let his guard down, admit mistakes, share his struggles, without being met with ridicule or constant criticism. That kind of communication deepens intimacy because it's built on mutual respect instead of fear. Grace in communication also prevents unnecessary scars. Words can stick with people long after a conversation is over. A woman who chooses her words carefully leaves fewer wounds to heal from later. She doesn't let anger make her say things she'll regret, and that steadiness makes her love feel safe. Men notice this because it sets her apart from the noise of constant drama and emotional games. It makes him want to lean in closer because her presence feels like peace. At its core, grace in communication isn't about perfection. It's not about never raising your voice or always knowing the perfect thing to say. It's about being intentional. It's about valuing the relationship more than the argument. It's about making sure that when the dust settles, respect is still intact. And when a woman can carry that kind of grace in her words, a man doesn't just love her, he treasures her. Passion for growth and purpose is one of the most captivating attitudes a woman can carry because it shows she's not living life on autopilot. Men are drawn to a woman who has direction, who has goals, who wakes up with something that excites her beyond the relationship itself. It's not that she doesn't love deeply, it's that she refuses to shrink her world down to just who she's with. And that, more than anything, is what makes her stand out. A woman with passion is magnetic because she radiates energy that comes from knowing what she wants. Whether it's a career, a creative pursuit, a personal goal, or simply becoming the best version of herself, she moves with intention. That kind of focus inspires respect. Men love it because it shows she has a life she's building, a vision she's chasing, and she's not waiting around for someone else to hand it to her. She's already in motion. This attitude doesn't just impress, it challenges. A man around a woman with passion starts to evaluate himself differently. Her growth pushes him toward his own. Her ambition sparks his. And it's not about competition, it's about inspiration. When a man sees that a woman refuses to settle, that she keeps raising her standards for herself, it motivates him to rise higher too. That partnership of growth creates a powerful connection because both are moving forward, not pulling each other down. And passion isn't just about big achievements. Sometimes it's in the simple ways she invests in herself, reading to expand her mind, trying new things to challenge herself, refusing to stay stuck in old habits. A man notices those things. He notices when she's curious, when she's hungry for more, when she refuses to be stagnant. That attitude tells him she's alive in the true sense, and it makes him want to be part of that journey. Now, some people think men are intimidated by women with ambition. The truth is, the right men aren't intimidated, they're inspired. They love it. Because passion makes her unpredictable in the best way. It means there's always something new she's reaching for, something new to talk about, something new to celebrate. Life with her doesn't feel stuck in routine, it feels like an adventure. That energy keeps a relationship fresh, because growth is always happening. What makes this even more powerful is that passion gives her independence. She's not clinging to a man for validation, because she already has fulfillment in her own path. And that independence doesn't push a man away, it pulls him closer. Because he knows she's with him by choice, not by necessity. He knows her love isn't coming from fear of being alone, but from a genuine desire to share her journey with someone who adds to it. That makes her presence all the more valuable. And passion for growth also shows resilience. A woman with purpose doesn't stay down for long when life knocks her down. She uses setbacks as fuel. She learns, adapts, and keeps moving forward. Men admire that because it shows strength and perseverance, and it reassures them that she won't collapse when life gets hard. She'll fight, she'll rebuild, she'll rise again, and that makes her a partner worth building with. At the end of the day, beauty may catch a man's eye, kindness may win his heart, but passion for growth and purpose is what keeps him invested. Because when a woman refuses to stop evolving, she makes love itself evolve. And that's what makes her unforgettable.